Good evening, everyone. Thank you for pulling this amazing event together. I've loved all of the performances. I've loved the stories that have been shared, and I love the amazing organizing work that's been done to end medical debt in Maryland. I just wanted to take a few minutes to share my own story and my grandmother, a story of my grandmother, who, my family has been dealing with this issue since she passed few years ago. My grandmother was born and raised in East Baltimore, worked for Johns Hopkins Hospital, and is actually one of the founders of an organization called SMEAC, Save the Middle East Action Committee. In the early 2000s, she found out that her home was under threat of being taken by the hospital, of which she was an employee of, for eminent domain for the development in East Baltimore. And rather than take that lying down, she fought tooth and nail to save her home and to fight for her neighbors and continue that fight even after she was ultimately relocated. As a result of her organizing work, she was fired by the hospital. And as the construction got underway, uh, she started to develop lung issues and had to have a lung transplant. And for several years, she was doing great, but her health slowly started to decline. And she ended up passing away just before the pandemic started in 2020. And wasn't soon after her passing, and obviously my family was mourning a tremendous loss of someone that was a fighter. My entire motivation for getting into community organizing work and ultimately running for office. But more importantly, she was my grandma. And uh, soon after she passed away, we started receiving calls from Hopkins, trying to collect that on the treatment that she received. And for me, it was heartbreaking, both knowing that the time that she put in working for the hospital, the time she put in fighting for East Baltimore against the hospital, and then ultimately receiving care there, and them calling almost immediately to collect on that. Just was the culmination of it all. It's been very heavy, and still weighs heavily on my heart as a legislator in Baltimore City, and one that is continually trying to hold them accountable. And to see, an institution that large with an endowment nearing $1 billion, to try to collect, such a small amount of money from our family without even given time to grieve. And, we were ultimately able to cover it. But I think about so many families in East Baltimore, in West Baltimore, and across the city that aren't in position to handle that, and what they may be going through. And just wanted to share that story to help put a face to it, to show people that no matter where you are, what position you are in, a leader in Baltimore, an activist in Baltimore, all of us are impacted by this issue. And I'm so excited about the movement to end this. I'm excited about the bills that have been introduced to move it, and I really do believe that they will get done this year. I'm with you in this fight. I will continue to join in this fight, and we will get it done this year. I promise you, we're going to get it done. And anything I can do to support, please keep me in mind, keep me in the loop, and keep my family in prayer as we continue to both grieve the loss of my grandmother, but continue to do everything we can do to live on her legacy. Thank you.